6'6" freshman from Northampton, Mississippi, number 20, Chad Harris. At point guard, the 5'9" freshman from Houston, number 24, Max Berman. And at forward, the 6'1" freshman from Enterprise, Alabama, number 44, Robert Washington. Graduate assistant is Brandon Zenosa. Assistant coaches, Brad Freeman, Amos McClooney, and John Irving. And the head coach at California College, Paul Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome you live to the Bill Greehey Arena on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Your men's basketball take action for the last time in 2012. They go up against the Crusaders of Dallas Christian College. Roll Tobar, Robin Johnson here with you to start the matchup. And Robin, this is a team that's coming in with quite a little bit of track record. They're 1-16 on the year. Believe it or not, they've already played 17 games in this short season.
Yeah, quite impressive, Raul. You know, me and Chad were talking to Coach Z earlier this week, and he said, you know, they're a good team, but we don't want to be their number two. We don't want to be their second win on the season with a kind of record like that. And so, you know, the Rattlers are very close to being undefeated, only one loss, one hiccup. So tonight should be a good game.
Now, if you guys remember last season, Dallas Christian was the team that came into the Bill Greehey with 6 players, and they ended up fouling out. One of their starting players ended up fouling out, so they ended the game just with 5, and they earned the nickname the 5 Crusaders, 6 Crusaders last year. So this year they got a little bit more of a bench and they got a little bit more depth. So let's see what they can do. And
Isaiah Matthews with a quick one there. He's really been stepping up this season in his starting role, scoring about, I think, 9 points per game. Really been an asset so far this season.
Great job there, as that's number 24, Max Burnman for the Crusaders. Your starting 5 for the Rattlers. The big man, Kevin Kotzer, Isaiah Matthews, they ring out the forwards as Kotzer goes ahead and scores that layup. Darryl Taylor, Moses Ndufu, and Christian Bauer in the backcourt. And Robin, they had a very impressive outing last time around against the Incarnate Word Cardinals, the last game of an era. They were to get the W.
That's right, and Kevin Coulter just missed his 6th double-double in a row. He's had 5 so far this season, going for his 6th this game. But all around an impressive game, a way to close the chapter there. And I think a good prep to upcoming conference as Kevin gets the and one there, already 4 points in this game.
Great job there for Kevin Coulter, able to power through and get the and one. You were saying last game, 10 points, 9 rebounds, just one short of that 6 double-double. And Let's see what the preseason All-American can do here in this game. First free throw for him is no good, and there's the putback here by Isaiah Matthews. And Robin, one of the things that me and David always talk about is how much of an athlete Isaiah Matthews is.
Yeah, you know, he's one that, again, and I was saying earlier in the broadcast, that's really stepped up. I enjoy watching Isaiah play. He's got a great vertical and just really able to get into the basket. Maybe not as tall as some of the regular posts, but he still finds a way in the hole.
Such a great athlete. His height isn't going to stop him as that shot goes up and is good. So now the Crusaders will get a chance for an and one. That's going to be on Isaiah Matthews. He'll pick up his first. Shot there was good for Malcolm McCarty, the senior guard from Dallas, Texas.
And as you said, Raul, this is the last game of the 2012 season here at home. The next one isn't until the 3rd of January, I believe. And, you know, right after that, Raul, it's nonstop conference. I mean, the Rattlers only have about 3 games left until it's all conference. And so we really need to use these games as, you know, further development for the team.
Great. A few more tune-up games there before the start of conference, as you were saying, Robin. And what a great way to start the season with a few wins. The only hiccup, like you mentioned, against the number 2 team in the country, Washburn, and a team that was coming in averaging 20-point victories. We were able to hold them down to just a 4-point loss there. And
that's right, Raul. And I was looking at I was writing the game store, and I was looking at some of their previous games, and their exhibition games were all against D1 Big 12 schools. So they really had a lot of, I guess you would seem like an edge over the Rattlers, but the Rattlers were able to hold their own in that one.
Washburn going up against KU, K-State, and OSU, and they were blown out as Christian Bauer there sinks the 3, and that's one of the things you got to be careful for on these Rattlers teams. You got to be careful making sure they don't warm up from beyond the arc, and the Rattlers take an early 9-4 lead. Kevin Kotzer with 4 points, Christian Bauer with 3, and Isaiah Matthews with 2, and those are your scores. Isaiah Matthews, a lone foul person with 1. Daryl Taylor now on the fast break. He was going to pass that out to his teammates in Dupu.
Good tip there. Remains Rattlers ball. Again, talking about behind the arc, you know, the Rattlers, once they light up, they really light up, especially, you know, Moses and Dupu and Daryl Taylor. Just really dangerous behind the arc once they get going.
Last year they had a little bit of trouble as in the big man position as balls turned over here for the Rattlers. First turnover of the game for them. Christian Bauer able to regain that after the Moses and Dupu block. Last year the Rattlers were a team that lived and died on the 3, and it was, you know, it showed very well during the NCAA tournament when Moses and Dupu and Daryl Taylor were kind of cold on the line, and it was kind of hard for them to get through that game, resulting in the loss. But this year they've been very lucky. They were able to pick up a player like Justin Alexander. Joe Monroe returned. Isaiah Matthews was finally caught up into the starting lineup, and then of course Kevin Kotzer. So now the offense is so much more potent on both the inside and the outside of the arc.
You're right, Raul. I really like seeing the Rattlers work the inside. They do a lot of extra passes. You know, that one extra pass to get it inside, and I think it's really benefited them this season, especially to have an addition like Justin Alexander and the upcoming of Isaiah Matthews.
And that is a great fadeaway shot there by Malcolm McCartney as the shot clock was winding down, and he's able to bring the Crusaders within 2. 9-7 the score here, first half. Last home game of 2012 here for the Rattlers. As Kevin Kotzer down low, count it. And one there, Kevin Kotzer, his second chance to go to the line. And already Kevin Kotzer, a quick 6 points. Great job there by the big man. And there'll be a timeout on the floor, and we'll take one with them. Stick around. You're watching men's basketball action on Ustream.
Back from the timeout, Kevin Kotzer will be at the line. And, you know, one of me and Chad's favorite pastimes in the office is looking at where Kevin might be after this season in terms of history and records in this basketball program. And he's going to be all over the place. He's already, I believe, third in career points, and the season just started. And so quite a player to watch.
Definitely one of the best players on this Rattler roster, arguably the best player in the Heartland Conference. And you can definitely expect his number up in the rafters soon enough. Is the big man as he takes a seat here for Joe Monroe. Fred Wilson also in the game for Moses Ndufu.
Fred is another outside shooter, but can also drive. Another great addition to the Rattlers this season.
Wilson, a great facilitator here for Coach Z and the Rattlers. Not necessarily the high-scoring player that you might think a facilitator would be, but he does all the hustle work, stuff that's not in the stat books. He's able to put a hand in passing lanes. He's able to get that timely block. He's able to get that timely assist there on a turnover, and he just does all the little things that count.
Wow.
When a block there by Joe Monroe, and the Rattlers are going the other way, and there's a foul early. Good job there to stop Christian Bauer on the fast break because the Rattlers had numbers. And that'll be a foul on number 3, Aaron Espinoza. So now the Rattlers will get this one back. Joe Monroe down low. And a traveling violation there for Monroe, so the Rattlers give it right back. Darrell Taylor going to take a seat for Moses Ndufu. And Robin, it's just scary that you're able to make a substitution like that. Such a deep bench, such a deep program here the Rattlers have, and they're able to bring out one shooter and put in another one.
Exactly, and Joe Monroe has been getting some press lately. He was recently interviewed by the Express News about the energy he brings on the court and how much he enjoys being that spark guy, and he really just is a boat of energy out there. Not always a great, deep scorer, but definitely provides the aggressiveness that the Rattlers need.
Definitely one of the things that the Rattlers have that a lot of teams don't is somebody who can bring that spark off the bench. And that's just a credit to Coach Z and his coaching abilities there. As Christian Bauer there will take a seat after the kick ball, and in will come Simmons.
Simmons is one of the ones who turned it on against Incarnate Word, scoring 9 points. A great backup point for the Rattlers this season.
Great job there for him against Incarnate Word. I think that was a season high, if I'm not mistaken. 4 players in double digits that win against the Cardinals to end the era of the rivalry, and I don't think the shot will count here. Foul will be on number 32, Fred Wilson, and ball will be taken out on the sideline. And just a great job right now. Coach is able to put some of his bench players. He's even Moses Ndufu out there. Almost like that one starter was just making sure that everything's going to be okay. And there's a great opportunity for a lot of these guys to get a lot of minutes, and they're going to need this, especially going into conference play.
Exactly. And we're all looking at this 5 out there: Monroe, Ndufu, Wilson, Monroe, and Simmons. It's almost like that could be a starting 5 in itself. Just another representation of a great bench.
Max Berman there with the 3, and you're right. This is one of the. This is a very special team this year that we have. The St. Mary's Rattlers. They're able to put in almost 2 starting 5s at any given time. These guys can take over, and they did so very well against Incarnate Word. They were able to have their impose their will, and Justin Alexander, their good passer, not able to find Monroe, and a traveling violation once again. Joe Monroe getting up, or sitting up when he was on the floor, and the referee's going to count that every time. Another turnover there for the Rattlers. And that's one of the things we felt to mention. I mean, as much as the good things that the Rattlers have been doing very well, one of the things that they've kind of slowly been working on, and it's been going well, as you see that block there by Ndufu, is the turnover ratio.
Yes.
I think they're averaging somewhere around a baker's dozen maybe, in turnovers, and that's something they need to work on, especially as they go into conference. They can't afford costly mistakes, especially down the stretch.
Exactly. Another thing they got to work on is, every now and then they'll have a game where they just shoot over 50% at the free throw line, and really we're a team that really needs to shoot 70%, especially when it gets down to bonus and in close games like against Washburn. We had about a 50% free throw percentage, and that could have really turned the game around for us if it had been higher.
That foul that committed there by Fred Wilson, and that'll be his second, and he's going to take a seat real quick. And you're right, for being such a great shooting team, its one Achilles heel has been at the line. So look for coach to try to fix that as they finalize these last exhibition games, these last season games, and then they go into conference. Second one was good, and 15-12 the score now. The Rattlers up by 3. Moses now with the ball. He goes in low. He passes it out. And they swing it around out to Simmons, and that 3 is good. Mark Simmons there, able to find the net. And this lead goes up to 6.
I believe I've been counting. I think there's been about 3 or 4 blocks already in this game for the Rattlers.
And I think Moses has been credited for most of them. And good defensive game right now against a very small Crusaders team. And the Crusaders right now are just kind of holding on for the ride. There's a 3. No good. Rebounded there by Moses and Dufu. And I think if down low to Monroe, he's trying to go through 3 defenders here, and he's not able to do so. Traveling once again. That is 3 turnovers on Joe Monroe. And when we come back, it'll be Crusaders ball. Stick around. You're watching Rattlers action here on Ustream. And welcome back, Rattler fans. Raul Tovar now joined by David Tovar. And David, just going to bring you up to speed here. Dallas Christian, the Crusaders, David, I don't know if you remember this. They were the team last season that brought in 6 players to the game. They had one of their starting 5 foul out. Now they're bringing back a little bit more guys, so.
Yeah, that bench a little more full. However, I spy some crutches.
I spy a few crutches, David, so not everybody is in fit shape just yet. And David, you want to know another surprising fact? I didn't know this about them as they just turn over the ball here. Dallas Christian is 1-16 on the season right now. They've been playing 3 games a week.
Yeah, I don't know what's the surprising part. The 1-16, so 17 games down already. They are rolling. Are they on an NBA schedule, some back-to-backs maybe?
I think they're playing on a condensed NBA schedule, David, a lockout season, I think.
Yeah, and when I saw this team on the schedule again, I immediately remembered this is the team that fielded 6 players last year, correct?
That would be correct, and that was the game where the Rattlers had their season high in scoring. I think they scored 93 points, if I want to remember correctly, and if our statisticians got these numbers right. And I don't know if they'll be able to match those numbers once again, but look for them to try to get another W against the Crusaders.
Yeah, this was such a high-paced fast-paced game last year. And by the means of it, it looks like the Rattlers are toward 20 points. And we're not even midway through the first half against UIW on Tuesday night. The Rattlers only had 30 in the first half total, so they're about 2/3 of the way and not even halfway through the first half. Simmons, Roberts, Sandufu, Kotzer, and Hubnak on the floor. Simmons with the screen. Uses Hubnak's screen. Hubnak now with it. Left side, Sandufu looking to put it up. Kotzer working against a way smaller defender. Misses it. And he is fouled. So tall is Kotzer against Dallas Christian's front line, Malcolm McCarty. He's 6'3" guard forward. And Rock, that's their tallest player, or their tallest player is a sophomore guard forward, 6'4".
No, we have one more. Chad Herring, David, 6'6".
6'6".
So, although he's just about as tall as Brad Hubnak, as Kevin Kotzer, David, my apologies. I don't think anybody matches the size.
No.
It's just actual physical strength of a Kevin Kotzer. So
I think the size is what you don't imagine. Well, Kotzer's 6'8", so even if Kotzer's still with a 2-inch advantage there.
David, Kevin Kotzer,
his own rebound. Blows that dunk, but gets the rebound. Looks like it's an old case of stat padding right there.
David, Kevin Kotzer, however, is still unsuccessful from the line. He has had 4 free throw attempts this game already, and he's 0 for 4. So I don't think that's something that Coach E wants to see from his star player.
Nice Berman handling. Down to McCarty, and he's not able to reach this one. It'll be Rattler basketball going the other way. Free throw shooting, and especially against these teams, the teams that you have to beat, the teams that you kind of see on the schedule and figure that's a win. You got to knock down your free throws. You got to play up to your standard. You can't play down to theirs. Here's Hubnak, top of the key, drops it off Simmons, right side. Finds Sandufu.
And David, this thought did come to mind as Moses takes that shot and Hubnak able to get this one back and put it in. I had a thought as Robin was telling me the 1-16 record for the Crusaders, and they're playing a little bit outside of their game what it seems like right now. They came out a little flat. I was thinking maybe just how heavy their schedule is. It might be catching up to them. You know, you already have a few injuries on the bench, and I'm pretty sure these guys don't have, solid legs underneath them, and maybe it's something where Coach might have to say, hey, listen, we might not have to play this heavy of a schedule anymore.
Yeah, I wonder how many games they have in the entire year. If they're already 17 down, I think college has about 32, 40 games total a year. Roberts out, and in comes Darrell Taylor. Still scoreless is Taylor. Kotzer with 8, Simmons with 3, Hubnak with 2. Shot is good. A 9-point lead for the St. Mary's Rattlers as we are midway through this first half. 10 minutes remaining in regulation. Here's Hubnak.
David, I can't honestly tell you. There's a
good dish.
Beautiful pass there by Mark Simmons, and we were speaking about this earlier, David, how well Simmons played against Incarnate Word on Wednesday, I believe. Great person to have off the bench. What a great facilitator for the Rattlers.
Very nice off that backup point guard spot. 3, no good. Rebounded by Simmons, and now he's pushing the break. Drops it off. Left side, Sandufu. Stutter step, now steps into the 3. That shot off the mark. Another offensive rebound, Kevin Kotzer. David, what do you do if you're Coach Charles Williams? I mean, you got no guys who can box out a Kevin Kotzer or even a Brad Hubnak.
And just what a horrible worst-case scenario for the Dallas Christian coach, David. If you double or triple team Kevin Kotzer and you avoid him from the boards, you leave people like Moses Sandufu and Darrell Taylor wide open, and they can just go wild on you.
Darrell Taylor forcing that steal there, and I believe he is fouled. It is going against Dallas Christian College. That foul will be on number 3, Aaron Espinosa. And so out comes Hubnak, in comes Isaiah Matthews. And Matthews, we talked about it so much. I'm sure you guys talked about it earlier in the broadcast. An athlete is Matthews. He's really developed well into the starting role, and I believe the starting 5 back on the floor roll. Here's Kotzer again.
David, and I think at this point, the big man just hungry, and he's going to eat as much as he can before coach decides to bench him.
We'll feast, and
And what a great game. And we were talking about this, me and Robin were, David, earlier in the broadcast, how pure an athlete Isaiah Matthews is. He's just so physical, just so aggressive. And on the other side on the bench, you have Joe Monroe, David. He just brings a spark off the bench. And that combination on the court, it just makes for good basketball.
There's a little man against Kotzer. Drops that off. The three is launched, and that is good. Max Berman gets that to go.
Max Berman, David, already has a few threes to his name and just added one more here.
10 points on the day for Berman. His Crusaders still trail by 12. Substitution upcoming, Alexander about to check in. Kotzer at the line. Rattlers rolling the bonus.
And David, that's just, it's not them being a physical team, David. It's just them trying to keep up with a big man like Kevin Kotzer. I think the majority of the fouls have gone towards Kevin Kotzer. First one is good, and he finally is able to sink one. I think he's relieved. And just like that, David, 15 points in the first half. That's more than he had all game in Incarnate Word.
15 points in 12 minutes, I think, is the more impressive line. And he gets that second one to go, and in comes Justin Alexander for Kevin Kotzer. One of the cool things about the college substitutions, you can sub right after a free throw.
David and Robin and myself were talking about this a little bit earlier. She was, her and Chad were looking through the record books here, and one of their pastimes is to see how high someone like a Kevin Kotzer will be in the books after his career is said and done. And I think right now they're saying that he's third overall in total points scored for St. Mary's history. So the year is young, and there's a possibility that he could flirt with the number one spot all time.
Indeed, and especially if his scoring continues as it is this afternoon. Rattler fans, stay with us. Your Rattlers up 14. Stay with us. More upcoming. Rattlers basketball live on Ustream. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 7:52 left in this first half. Your Rattlers are complete control here of the Dallas Christian Crusaders. They lead it 30-16, and the Crusaders, that is Malcolm McCarty, and he's going to go to the line and see if he can try to muster up a little bit of a comeback before the end of the half. First one is good. Both teams now in the bonus, so they will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. Second shot is good, and that falls for Malcolm McCarty, and he brings his Crusaders within 12. Kevin Kotzer on the bench with 15. Alexander in alongside Joe Monroe, Daryl Taylor, Mo Sandufu, and Christian Bauer. And Monroe, another one of those athletes we talked about, Roll, alongside an Isaiah Matthews. Here's Alexander down low. Shot no good. Rebounded by Monroe. And that's another guy. Expect him to feast on this very small and, compared to him, very unathletic front line of the Crusaders.
David, we were speaking about this earlier in the broadcast. Joe Monroe was able to get an interview spot here for the City San Antonio newspaper, MySA, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, MySA.com or San Antonio Express News, and he was just expressing himself. He might not be the most prolific of scorers, but he definitely wants to be that acquisition, that little help any way he can, and he really does when he brings out that spark, that aggression off the bench, and his team just seems to play a lot better when he's on the court. Offensive foul there for the Crusaders, and the ball will go back to the Rattlers. And Joe Monroe down low, and he puts it in once again. No challenge there on that double team, and he's able to get 4 quick ones.
Now here come the Crusaders trying to get something going on offense, and a foul is called.
That one will be on Moses and Duval, and now he will take a seat for Mark Simmons. So the Rattlers going to play almost a little bit of a small ball, 2 point guards out there. And that's a new combination. I don't think I've seen that one all season.
I think we saw it briefly in one of the last games, but one that I am intrigued to see. Simmons, a point guard, but he has a lot of shooting guard in him. He's athletic. He can get to the basket. We've seen him pull some nice moves out, so it'd be nice to see him at the 2 guard. Darrell Taylor moving up to the 3, and Al Bauer still handling for the Rattlers.
This is one of the things, David. Here's Mark Simmons for 3.
Oh, gets that to go, and I believe I had that one. A lot of shooting guard in Mark Simmons. That shot is good, and the Rattlers increase their lead to 19.
David, one of the things that this lineup brings is speed. Fastest player on the court, obviously the guards, but you know, Kevin Cox is a pretty quick player himself, but not compared to the speed of a Justin Alexander, because he's just so much lighter.
And even a Joe Monroe. So a timeout taken by Dallas Christian. 30-second timeout. We'll take one with them. Stay with us, Rattler fans. More upcoming. Rattlers basketball live on Ustream.
Welcome back. 6:10 left in the first half here. The Rattlers are leading the Dallas Christian Crusaders 37-18 here. Crusaders now with the ball, and that's a 3. No good there. Rebounded by Mark Simmons, and he stepped on the line. Out of bounds. That ball will go back to Dallas Christian.
6 minutes remaining here in the first half. It's been all Rattlers pretty much for these first 14 minutes. That one off the backboard and into the hands of Alexander. Now Simmons looking to push. Has Darrell Taylor. Alley-oop, Joe Monroe. What a play there. That electrifies the crowd.
What a beautiful pass there, David.
And I think it's terrific passing for the Rattlers there. Alexander to Simmons to Taylor to Monroe.
But David, also Joe Monroe, what a great finish. Able to put that one down, and David, I think they're starting to put those nails in the coffin pretty early in this one.
And I guess now that we finally saw a dunk go down, we can talk about the missed dunks that we've seen throughout the year. We've seen a couple of them miss. We've seen Alexander blow a layup. We've seen Matthews miss a dunk. We've seen Monroe miss a dunk. We've seen Contra miss a dunk right here this afternoon. And it's nice to see one go down in an alley-oop fashion.
You're right, David, and I think that's exactly what the Rattlers needed this year, David. They needed to get that out of the way, that chip off their shoulder, and they need to finally put one down hard, and they were able to do so, especially Joe Monroe, who was on the receiving end of a few of those rim stuffs, and now he's finally able to go ahead and break through, and expect him to be a human highlight reel for the rest of the season.
Chit-chatting with Joe Monroe after Tuesday's game, I asked him about his dunk and what happened there. I believe he missed one against UIW, and he said, man, I just wish I had that one back. That was on me. So I'm happy to see him get one. Here's Bryce in there and dishes that one. Nice pass. Counted, and the foul for Alexander. And that assist coming from Bryce Smith the redshirt freshman, 5'11", out of Corpus Christi from Carroll High School. It's his first playing time, at least that we've seen this year.
Yeah, I think he had very limited time in a game, maybe 2 games ago. Maybe I think he had a few minutes of play, but nothing as much as he's going to get tonight. And David, here's my question to you. Maybe you can answer it better than I could. In a game that's very, the score is very large, you bring in as a coach, you bring in your sub, you bring in your bench, your reserves to kind of get some playing time. But when your reserves and your bench are as good as your starting lineup, what do you do as a coach? How do you tell them don't score? How do you tell them don't blow up this lead too much more?
Well, I believe that you just have to tell your players to kind of disengage an inch, kind of take their foot off the pedal. Don't make dumb mistakes, but just maybe not go full throttle. It's very tough when you have such a talented team, and unlike, what comes to mind is that Jack Taylor kid who scored 138.
That's exactly why I bring up this question. Like, at what point do you tell your kids,
and honestly, when you asked the question, I kind of thought to myself, which guys on our team could drop 100? and I'm thinking Daryl Taylor, I'm thinking Kotzer. If you see our Twitter, at St. Mary's Rattlers, apparently he can drop 50 if he wanted to try. Sandufu could do it maybe if he gets hot from the arc. But besides that, I mean, I think you kind of just, you don't want to embarrass this team. You want to keep playing them. So you kind of just, I assume you tell your players kind of just, take your foot off the brakes and cool the jets just a bit. There's Sandufu.
And David, I'm kind of interested to see what a player like Bryce can do. And I know he's not getting a lot of playing time. He is third on the depth chart for point guards. But when you have somebody like Christian Bauer and Mark Simmons to learn from and to get notes and pointers from, it's going to be a great career for him.
Oh, Sandufu with the lane. Nice shot there. Bryce, with talking with Coach Bubba earlier before the season started, said that Bryce is a kid who tries hard and works very hard in practice and who plays like he belongs here.
I think it's one of those things, David. And I think I remember one of a real famous coach saying this, and the name escapes me, but he said, he might not be as talented as some of the other starting guards, but he outworks them. He out-hustles players, and that's the reason that he's wearing, the number 12 jersey here for the Rattlers.
With a 22-point lead and foul here.
Looked like he got more ball than hand, but referee's going to go ahead and give the Crusaders that one.
Robert Washington will go to the line as his Crusaders trail. Stay with us, Rattler fans. More upcoming. You're watching all the action live on Ustream. Free throw is good, and that brings the Crusader deficit to 21. David Tovar, Raul Tovar with you, and we are inside Bill Gree Arena on a Heisman Saturday. And we're all, when the game's a blowout, we talk about other sports. So who do you got, Manti or Johnny Football?
We usually wait a little bit longer than this, but okay,
No,
well, seeing as this is already going to happen. I'm sorry, I have to honestly say this is Johnny Football's year. It has to be Johnny Football. And here's the interesting thing, David. We talked about this during the weekend edition of First Take, and I'm very passionate about this show. I get a chance to watch it every time I can, and it might have not been the starting cast.
You might be around those guys very soon.
Pretty soon, hopefully, all things willing. And one of the things they were mentioning is Notre Dame did very well this year, David. They were able to be ranked number 1 in the country, and a lot of that has to do from the work of the Matt Tarteo. And a lot of people were saying that he should be the favorite to win the Heisman based off of those facts. However, for me, when you have somebody who won former Heisman like Tim Tebow and Cam Newton,
their numbers are the same.
Their numbers are just the same. And when you have somebody who was able to win against the number 1 team in the nation, they were able to defeat in Alabama. And now here's my question, David. Let's assume that Tarteo, am I saying this right? Yeah, Teo would win.
Oh, another throw down there.
Oh.
A careless turnover by Sadupu, almost, and it's tipped right into the hands of Monroe, and he throws it down. Talking about a slam dunk. That's his Heisman prediction there for us.
David, we were talking about this. Teo, what would have happened if he were to win the Heisman and they go to the bowl game and lose to Alabama?
I mean, that happens.
In theory, Johnny Football has already beaten Alabama.
Oh, okay.
So if they, as the number 1 team, so now as the number 1 team Notre Dame, if they were to lose or heaven forbid they were to get blown out by an Alabama team, what would that say about the Heisman prediction or the Heisman winner?
It depends if Teo plays poorly in that game. See, I like you, I agree with Johnny Heisman for Heisman, but the thing with me is that there's a couple things going against him. 1, a freshman has never won the Heisman. 2, he did have 2 losses on his record, though he put up the same or even better numbers than Tim Tebow's Heisman year and even Cam Newton's Heisman year. He did have the 2 losses. However, I would argue those 2 losses were against top 10 teams, Florida and LSU. By no way are they walkthroughs or walkovers. And he lost one by 4 and the other one by 5, so he wasn't blown out. And he had fourth quarter leads, and that's where they lost the lead. But you would assume that falls more on the defense, and maybe on Johnny Football now being able to convert. What I think does work for him is he burst on the scene against, I don't know who better to do it against than the number 1 team, Alabama, in Tuscaloosa. And then 3, I think another strike against Johnny Football is that I think voters are afraid to give him the Heisman this year, and if he drops off next year and his junior year, then they will look, in the record books, in the annals of history, it would look a little bad, I suppose.
Well, but see, here's the thing, and one of the things that maybe a strike against him would be the fact that although he did beat great teams like Alabama, and he was short against Florida, a lot of the victories that came this year were against subpar teams. A lot of his victories came against teams that, really weren't contenders for anything very big, maybe not even bowls themselves. However, many college football purists will say, well, you know what, a good quarterback has to prove himself in the SEC.
Yeah.
And
I think that's probably, to me, the ultimate strike for him, is that who expected A&M to be this good in the SEC?
In the SEC, exactly.
Nobody.
People in Texas, A&M.
Yeah, College Station were ready to get stomped in the SEC, and it was solely to Johnny Football. They finished in the top half, top 4, top 3 even. I don't have the numbers.
It was just those 2 losses. They would have been
Alabama and Georgia.
They could have been contenders
ahead of them, but
yeah.
But we'll find out tonight, obviously. My vote for Johnny Football. If not him, I don't know who else.
Honestly, I'm really a big fan of what K-State has done this year and what they're doing, but for me, unfortunately, he has no. If he gets a vote or 2, that's too many.
I mean, it's really a 2-man race. It's Republican, Democrat almost. Colin Klein, nice season for him in K-State. They didn't even get to a bowl game. So, and not that A&M did either. However, as Hoopnack turns and spins, shoots, Alexander trying to bring it down. They didn't get to a bowl game, so, you know, it's a free trip to New York for him to be at the Heisman ceremony, and why not? 22-point lead for the St. Mary's Rattlers, as you can see on the top of the Rattlers Ustream Live graphics. That's a flip shot there, and that is good for Dallas Christian College, trailing now by 20 as we are about 35 seconds in, remaining in this first half. An impressive first half. We'll expect to see more of that upcoming. There's Hoopnack Sandufu, left side jumper off the glass. That's good. And Mo Sandufu, he's got 4 points as the clock keeps running. 10 seconds. Rattler fans, stay with us. More upcoming from Bill Greer Arena as the Rattlers will take a 20-point. Whoa! Looks like there's a foul right there.
There will be, David, and Coach D's already in the locker room, and
it'll be a 3-shot foul, I believe. First free throw is good. At the line is number 20, Chad Herring. Hoopnack fouling the shooter. That's a Cardinal rule. Second free throw is good. One more upcoming. Cardinal rule. I mean, no matter of the blowout, no matter. And Dallas Christian going to the locker room already, and they're being whistled back. I don't know if that's a violation. We'll get some free throws, but basically, Roy, I think it's a formality that you have to go through at this point.
I think so too at this point.
I mean, this game, I'm going to go on a far limb here and say it's been decided already. All three are good from Herring, by the way. And the Rattlers will not go into the half with a 20-plus point lead. They're going with a 19-point lead, 52-33. Rattler fans, stay with us. More coming from Bill Greer Arena, live on Ustream.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for your halftime entertainment, St. Mary's University is proud to present your Brooklyn Dance Team.
Welcome back, Rattler fans. The start of the second half between your St. Mary's Rattlers and the Dallas Christian College Crusaders. David Tovar, Raul Tovar with you. And Raul, just some first half stats before we resume. It's been all Rattlers all the way. The Rattlers have led by as many as 23. Dallas Christian has not led yet in this game. Dallas Christian shooting 34% from the field. St. Mary's 69.7%. That is astonishing. From three, the Rattlers are 3 of 5. Dallas Christian, 3 of 6. From free throws, Dallas Christian has seen the line a bunch. 14 for 21. Shooting for 66%. St. Mary's 3 for 7. The rebound, that's where the Rattlers have really rolled. 26 rebounds for St. Mary's, only 8 for Dallas Christian. 7 turnovers for the Rattlers, 5 for the Crusaders. Just a rundown of the stats quickly for the Rattlers, leading all scorers. Kevin Kotzer, 16 and 6. After him, 8 from Joe Monroe, 4 of 4 shooting. Justin Alexander, 7 points. Mark Simmons with 6. Matthew Sandufu and Hubnak with 4 apiece. Going the other way, Malcolm McCarty leading the Crusaders in scoring with 11 points. Max Berman with 13.
And David, when you were reading the stats out, David, and the Crusaders got on a 6-0 run, and
They made this one interesting again.
Mark Simmons, David, able to, that was Darryl Taylor, David, able to shoot a long range two, and he was able to end that run, so put a stop to that fire just for a second.
5 of the 4 to begin this one for the Rattlers. Bauer, Taylor, Wilson, Matthews, and Kotzer. That shot no good. Offensive rebound by Kotzer, and he gets that one to go easily. 17-point lead for St. Mary's. And I believe a foul is going to be called on Darryl Taylor. Aaron Espinosa drawing the foul there. Not sure how much contact was made. Espinosa was kind of caught between the rock and hard place. Now Berman working right side, gets past Wilson momentarily. Backs it up back to Washington, guarded by Isaiah Matthews. Looking for Espinosa. Washington No violation there. He was pretty still. Putting on the move, knocks down Matthews. Berman, and Berman is fouled. It'll be a blocking foul.
Yeah, and I think that one will go on Wilson, and I think he was looking more for a trip there, and I guess they're going to call the blocking foul on him. Everyone's a little surprised on that on the floor.
It'll be on Wilson, as he has the duty of guarding Berman. Wilson against UIW role when Badillo went hot in that second half. I believe he had 11, and at the point he had 9 in a row. They put Bauer on him, Simmons, Taylor, and finally Wilson was the man to stop him and really stop the whole offense for UIW. As Kotzer hits the floor, and another foul here, and quickly Dallas Christian is getting themselves near the bonus.
David, and this is a great way for them to try to get back into this ball game, David. If they can't beat you with size, I mean, if they're not going to beat you with their size and their strength, David, they're gonna beat you at the line.
Quick hands there by Matthews, swats that one away. It'll stay with Dallas Christian. Still 30 seconds on their shot clock remain. McCarty to inbound from under their basket. Wilson with the interception. As Bauer trailing all the way, Wilson gets that almost to go. Everything but the finish, and that ball just rattles out. He is fouled on the way, and he will go to the line for 2.
Great job there by Wilson, David, having to contort his body to go for that shot. So, you know, it's all right that he missed that one because he was it's such a difficult angle how he came into that. So he'll be able to get 2 shots here. And I'm not too sure what the referees are going to be discussing here, David. It was a shooting foul. It has to be.
Agreed. He was up there for a layup,
and the referees are going to shrug this one off, I guess. And
yeah, not sure exactly what they were talking about there.
I think they were just telling each other a joke or something.
Wilson at the line. First free throw is good. Oh, man. Back to an 18-point lead.
You never know the conversations that go on in the referee locker room, David. They're crazy and wild.
Absolutely. Yes. There's Wilson's second free throw. That is good. They get 58 for the Rattlers. Right around 3 minutes gone by in this second half. Crusaders cut it to as low as 13. And a foul here. That's on Bauer. Bauer here arguing. There's McCarty. Launches that one. Espinosa with it, right side, defended by Bauer. Screen set, not going to use it. Espinosa picks up his dribble, now Berman. And a timeout called. At least it wasn't a foul. 19-point lead for the St. Mary's Rattlers. Timeout, stay with us. More coming. Rattler basketball continues live on Ustream. Rattler fans, a 19-point lead for the St. Mary's Rattlers, 6:19 remaining. 16-19, I should say, as that miss from Espinosa prompts a Rattler fast break. Matthews loses possession there. That one gets away from him. And now Coach Z going right to the bench. Hubnak about to check in. One can only assume. 16 minutes here remaining. 19-point lead. Here's Berman, the shot, a tough one, no good. Matthews with the rebound. Outlet to Bauer. Now Bauer finds Taylor. Offensive foul. And boy, the Rattlers just not getting the breaks on the fouls this afternoon.
No, they're not. They can have a totally different ball game. Totally different story here for the Rattlers. And that one, although the Crusader player was set, David, I think he might have shifted just at the last second to get that space for sure. And I don't know about that call, David.
Questionable indeed. Well, what is not questionable is the Rattler lead. It's at 19 with about 15:42 remaining in the second half. Stay with us, Rattler fans. More upcoming. Rattler basketball continues live on Ustream. Welcome back, Rattler fans. A 19-point lead for your St. Mary's Rattlers. David Tovar, Raul Tovar with you. And Raul, I believe this is our last broadcast of the year. I don't think there's any more games, men or women's. The women, I believe, return on January the 3rd to Bill Green Arena. The men do as well. January the 3rd against the University of Texas of the Permian Basin. So from here, Raul, St. Mary's will head to Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Classic on December 18th through 19th. That's a Tuesday and Wednesday. They'll be taking on the University of West Florida and Drury University.
That's been slowly starting to be a Rattler tradition, David. Able to go to Las Vegas, David, try to get a few games under their belt. I know last year it was very crucial for them. They came back after that Vegas trip, re-energized, and just with a lot of confidence, David, they were able to steamroll through the conference and able to get a bid to the national dance. So let's see if the little, almost if you will, a spa games can be that extra pick-me-up that they already have already. That's the thing. Last year they needed those games. This year I think they're going to use them more for just putting the finishing touches.
Some fine-tuning.
Yeah.
And you talk about the tournament, Rome. This team's goal is not to get into the Heartland Conference playoffs. That is something that they have outright stated that they will get there. And you could even argue that their goal isn't even to win the Heartland Conference. They feel that they can win that. They want to get back to that dance and they want to take that first game. They were so close at Midwestern State last year.
I think it was just the stars weren't aligned, David, last year for them, and this year they have the pieces. This year they have the pieces, David, all the right ones that left. They came in. You have Justin Alexander, the Christian Bowers, the Mark Simmons, players like that, David. They came in and they're going to give them a run for the money in this division of the NCAA.
A lot of new pieces, a lot of new talent, and maybe just what we need. And that shot is good from McCarty, and that's a three. As the lead now at 16 for St. Mary's. Left side to Fred Wilson. Finds Hubnak. Open jumper. Stop, pop. That's good.
David, that's his shot right there. Right a little bit above the free throw line. And especially with nobody on him, that's his bread and butter all day.
Wilson, good job trying to tip it. It's in the hands of Berman, and that's good. Unlucky break there for St. Mary's.
Good job there, David, on defense for Wilson. And it's those little things that he does well, David. Might not get points on the board, but he puts a hand in the way. And
I'll definitely keep him on the court. Bauer left side, back to Wilson. Down low is Kotzer. Kotzer with 18. Drops it off Bauer for 3. Stepped into this one, no good. And here is Hubnak. Almost gets that to go. He'll find himself at the line.
I guess you're going to give that one to Fred Wilson, David. Not sure what that foul was because he'll be the only one there. I think it's a technical foul.
It'll be a technical on number 20, Chad Herring. So Fred Wilson will be at the line, and he'll take the technical free throw. It'll be Mosa Ndufu. An audible called here.
Yeah, a little bit of a free throw problem this game for the Rattlers.
Yeah, Rattlers have struggled from the line. Second one is good.
And now we'll have free throws.
Now we'll have your regularly scheduled programming.
David, and here's the thing. I know we've talked about this numerous times off the air. And you have a team as deep and as talented as the Rattlers, and you know they speak about them. You know they speak to themselves, and that their motivation is not to win the Heartland Conference tournament. I think to them, that's almost not. I don't want to say it to make it sound rude, like a formality, but
yeah,
that's something that their expectations. For them, that's something that they need to win because it's part of the plan. But what do you say to the coaches who put them, you know, not first, maybe not even second on their depth chart as far as contenders in this conference? It kind of brings into question. Are they bringing this intensity not only for themselves but to prove them wrong?
I think with any team, you kind of have that us against the world mentality. As this shot is launched by Espinosa way off the mark. That's an air ball, and it's rebounded by Sandufu. Now Bauer. I think as any team, you look for any kind of motivation, and that's pretty darn good right there. Rattlers, the Heartland Conference champion, counted, and the foul. And Kotzer looking to get back to the tournament. It's a senior year. And I really believe, bro, 6 games in, this is the team for the Rattlers, for St. Mary's, that can really get back and make some noise, make some real noise.
Yeah, and Kevin Kotzer already has, his house must be full of shelves and shelves of just awards and accomplishments. And what a great one to end his career on if he could just, that special piece of hardware. And you're right, this is the team that will do it. This is the team that has the best chance in a long time, and it is exciting for St. Mary's as well as for the basketball program.
Substitution, John Roberts in for Fred Wilson, and Justin Alexander in for Kevin Kotzer. Bauer at the point.
Great little give and go there by Hubnak to Moses Sandufu, who was able to lay that one up. And at this point, it's now starting to become a bit of a shooting clinic, a layup clinic, if you will, for the Rattlers. And a block there.
Good defense there by Alexander. Here's Bauer now on the break. Drops it off. Sandufu for 3. Launches. That shot off the mark. No good. Alexander not able to come up with it, and it's off the hands of Washington. It'll stay with St. Mary's. Something wrong we haven't touched on, and frankly, I really don't want to. Sandufu's shooting has been off.
Yeah, not the best this game, although a game like this, it might not necessarily be that important, but he needs to be careful that he doesn't get on this kind of groove. This is not the groove you want to be, especially when you're so close to the conference play. However, the passing is on point today, and the assists just keep adding up here for the Rattlers. Sandufu there on the turnover. That's a pretty high percentage shot right there, David.
Kind of shot you want.
And another deflection here by John Roberts, and turnover going the other way.
Oh, Bauer drops it off to Alexander. What a dunk. And boy, oh boy, if you're looking for highlights, this is the game. Terrific dish and a timeout taken. We'll take one with them. Stay with us. More upcoming. The highlight reel continues.
Welcome back, Rattler fans. 11 minutes left in regulation. Your Rattlers up by 30 on the Dallas Christian Crusaders, and this match has become a little bit of a highlight reel here as Justin Alexander, Isaiah Matthews, Kevin Kotzer have all been able to put this one down. Turnover here for the Crusaders, and we'll take a timeout on the floor. We'll take one with them. Stick around. You're watching Rattlers basketball here on U Street. Rattler fans, 10:41 left in the second half. Your Rattlers leading the way by 30. Mark Simmons, Christian Bauer, John Roberts, Justin Alexander, and Brad Hubnack. Your 5 on the court. That 3 is no good. Rebounded here by McCarty. McCarty now trying to put the moves on Mark Simmons, and a steal. And the Rattlers are going the other way. That's a pass out to Roberts. Roberts trying to go down low, and he will be fouled and sent to the line. Foul will be on number 4, Theodore Udome. That's his first.
Halfway through this second half, Roberts' free throw is good. The Rattlers lead by 31. David Tovar, all Tovar. All right, now it's time to segue into our blowout conversations. Raw, Sunday, the Cowboys-Bengals, 6-6 against 7-5 Bengals. Cowboys somehow still in the hunt. So my question to you, Cowboys making it?
Because I am a Cowboys fan, David, you always have to be very faithful to your team. I'm going to say yes, just because I have to as a Cowboys fan. However, the road to the playoffs is not an easy one. And they're going to struggle, and there's got to be a lot of expectations, a lot of different, and an air ball there. There's got to be a lot of different things that got to happen, David. The Seahawks got to lose a few, the Bears have to drop a couple, and everybody else got to shift into position here. So
it's a bit of a segue. I mean, the Dallas Christian Crusaders and Dallas Cowboys. Well, here's how it breaks down, Ro. Redskins also 6-6, have a better division record than even the Giants, who are leading the division at 7-4 or 7-5, I believe. Now, here's the schedule, bro. Cowboys have the Bengals, Steelers, Saints, and Redskins. I definitely would say the Bengals game tomorrow and the Steelers game are going to be very tough. Saints can even be a scare. Redskins, of course, beat us. That's a tough schedule. Giants at 7-5 hold the lead. Hubnack's free throw is good. Giants hold the lead. Their schedule, the remaining schedule, features the Saints, Ravens, Redskins, and I'm missing one more team. It's a little tougher. It breaks down a little tougher. And the Redskins have the easiest of the schedules. After tomorrow, Sunday, they have the Ravens and they have the Rams, Saints, and Cowboys. So the road to the NFC East is easier for the Redskins as Roberts goes down hard. He's up, he'll be fine, as Washington goes to the line. So the Redskins have the easiest path. The Cowboys arguably have the toughest. The Giants have the toughest. They have the Falcons in between, the 11-1 Falcons.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a very tough and it's going to be a very open NFC East, David. It's up for the grabs. Even with a team as good as the Giants, it may come down to the last game, David.
It may come down to the last game. Redskins-Cowboys is the season finale.
And the Cowboys are no stranger to that win and go, or the way they're playing it in, win or go home. Yeah, so although they weren't on the good, the positive end of that result the last time they were in a situation like that.
Indeed, and they are subject to failures in December. Their record in December hasn't been good in the last couple of years.
Oh, great move there, David. Mark Simmons able to pull a little Mono Ginobili and fake out his defender, looking like he was going to pass that ball out as he came into the lane, and was able to easily lay that one up. And great night for him, 8 points. He had 9 the night before against the Incarnate Word. Here he goes again for 3.
That's good.
David, I want to say he's now bested his season high, and
got double digits with 11, and a foul here, and that'll be on the Rattlers. That's going against number 20, Mark Simmons.
David, after starting the half with 4 quick fouls, the Rattlers, they've only given up 4 in the last, I want to say, 8-9 minutes of play here.
I believe so. Not a math major. I believe it's a 35-point lead. Is Roberts, Bauer, and now Alexander doesn't get that to go. Gets his own rebound.
I think he was a little scared of how open he was, David. And
yeah. What did you say was the output for St. Mary's against Dallas Christian last
I
year?
think the last game was 93 points, I believe. I think that's what Robin...
Well, they're well on their way to get that. And then this year, they actually beat UIW in the home opener, 94-87. Excuse me, in the season opener, 94-87. So that is their season high currently.
They're no strangers to the highest scoring affairs here, David. And you got to give them credit, though. I don't think Dallas Christian put up this many points last season as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Here's a Simmons almost lining up another three. All the way in, gets that to go. Good decision making there by Simmons. Didn't have that long shot. Instead, wiggles his way through and gets that one to go. And
that's just a great job there by Mark Simmons, David, making the most out of the minutes he's given, and especially in a game like this where coach wants to make sure that the players that are on the bench, do they deserve to dress out or not.
Foul here, and now we will see some substitutions upcoming. Timeout taken here. We'll take one with them. Stay with us. More upcoming. Rattlers lead by 36. Live on Ustream. Welcome back, Rattler fans, and the next 6:55 is a formality here as McCarty at the line for Dallas Christian. Bryce Smith, Fred Wilson, John Roberts, Joe Monroe, and Justin Alexander, the 5 on the floor for St. Mary's. And again, these officials conversing. And though you can call it shoddy officiating, Rattlers are well in control and are primed to take this one and improve on what has been a terrific season for them thus far. They are 5-1 overall, looking to improve to 6-1. That free throw is good on the 1-1.
David, if I'm not mistaken, I think 6-1 if they were able to pull this one out. This is one of the best starts in recent history.
Absolutely. Why not? It reminds me of last season when the volleyball girls got out to their, I'll tell you, 10-0 or 11-0 start. Here's Monroe, and he is fouled. A lot of contact down there. Well, I know you're an avid NBA fan, and of course the big news is the Lakers and their impending demise. Any thoughts on that? Any thoughts on Dwight Howard? Any thoughts on the Hack-a-Shaq or Hack-a-Dwight?
Well, Hack-a-Dwight, that's something that he pretty much has earned himself, David. I think he's got to spend a few more hours in the gym, working on his free throws instead of working on his dunk game. As far as the Lakers' demise, I mean, it rings back, David, to the whole Miami Heat in their first season. I know they might have had a similar start. I think they went 8-9 their first 17 games, I want to say, when the Heat just got the big three. So it takes about a year to work, David. And mind you, Mike D'Antoni's system isn't necessarily the best system for such a stacked lineup. But, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of people are saying, well, just wait till Steve Nash comes back. Wait till this happens. Steve Nash is not necessarily the best of point guards at this age anymore. A lot of faster, younger point guards now are going to run all over him. So they have to find a way to go either through Kobe or find a way to be able to keep Dwight or Pau Gasol in the game late, someone who can make their free throws down the stretch.
Well, that's the thing, Raw. I mean, you haven't had Steve Nash basically the entire season. I think he got into the second game. Gasol's missed the last 3. D'Antoni, when he gets Nash back, his quarterback of choice. I mean, remember, Nash flourished under D'Antoni, 2 MVPs. Kobe, a former league MVP. Dwight Howard, he's an athlete. And Dwight, not exactly himself, a bad back. And Dwight not really one of those to shoulder a whole load on his own.
I just think that this year, fans were expecting a little too much the first year, David, like most fans would after such a great offseason. You know, when you have a team that stacked, you have a mini all-conference team, you know, an all-star team, and you're expecting big things. But you got to remember, these guys are so used to playing against each other that, you know, they don't ever take the time to assume, hey, well, what would happen if I played on the same team? What would happen if I were able to pass this ball to Kobe, if I was able to take an alley-oop from a Steve Nash? But we'll wait and see. I mean, right now, the best team in the...
I think the rumors of the Laker demise have been greatly exaggerated.
I think so, too.
Bryce Smith, left side, John Roberts. But I don't think the rumors of Dallas Christian's demise have been at all exaggerated. They are unfolding upon us.
Yeah, the one team that I am very excited to see, and it might come as a shocker, it is the Memphis Grizzlies. They are a very deep bench, very deep team, and they're stacked on all positions. That's something that, you know, San Antonio went out with their injured players.
Yeah, I believe they're a league best.
They're 13-3, 13-3, I believe. They didn't play last night.
One of those 3 losses coming to San Antonio in overtime last Saturday. Speaking about San Antonio Spurs, well, just imagine if Dallas Christian's on the schedule, not exactly a high caliber team, nothing personally against them, but just not exactly a, what was the record you mentioned, Will?
I think they were 1-16, I believe.
Yeah, very much not a caliber team. Well,
but it's one of those things, David, where if you want to put into NBA perspective, it's kind of like playing the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a game where let's say you might not show up because you're assuming an automatic W, and you take that loss, and then that loss becomes a two loss streak, you know, 2-game losing streak, and then it kind of goes from there. Let's say that you're vying for position late in the season, and it was that 1 or 2 losses that you had against teams that you should have beat that's going to keep you from being in the number 1 seed, or keep you in that prime position for the playoffs.
Yeah, these are those games that you have to win. Your must-wins, you got to win them. You can't let those slide, and that shot, no good. Rebound, still to Dallas Christian. No foul call.
No, great job. Good defense there by the Rattlers.
That one batted out of bounds. No, but I was trying to get at, Raw. Per se, Coach Z sat down his big 3 against Dallas Christian. No Z, no Sanduku, no Taylor. I will leave you that to ponder. Well, Rattler fans, stay with us. More upcoming. Rattlers up and up big. Rattlers, Ustream Live. Welcome back, Rattler fans. 3:55 remaining. And this one, Alexander, Bryce Smith, Darrell Taylor, Fred Wilson, and Joe Monroe out there. And, you know, I said the Rattlers would get past 94, and, well, this was looking a little in danger.
I believe so, David. I think coach is telling them, hey, step off the pedal, but make sure they don't step on theirs. And Fred Wilson there. Getting fouled there by number 2. That's Vincent Naito.
And so that foul against the Crusaders. And here we come. Rattler fans, here it is. Now entering for the St. Mary's Rattlers is number 41, Roberto Soto. Soto, a fan favorite.
I think so, David. One of those blue-collar athletes, blue-collar players, David. He works hard in practice and tries to give it all the best he can. And coach recognizes talent where, you
got to maximize them out when needed. The big body.
I think one of my best friends says it best, David. Got blue-collar hands and a white-collar mind. So Roberto Soto definitely one of those guys, very high, I guess, in the basketball IQ department, and he just works hard to make sure that he can kind of keep up. And
not only because of his nationality, but reminiscent of Eddie Nakara.
Yes.
Standout from Oklahoma, and of course, former Dallas Maverick and Denver Nugget, and really a pain and thorn in the side for the San Antonio Spurs.
Many a year.
Remember that 1 year he almost took Manu's head off.
Many a year that Nakara was not only an enforcing tie, but he was a threat at the mid-range game.
Here's Bryce looking for Soto. Nice post-up move there. Now right side, here's Wilson. Oh, nice spin move, gets that to go. That's a playground shot. Fred Wilson, 5-6 for him, excuse me.
Beautiful shot there, David, and they did match up last year's season score to the Crusaders, 93-54, the score here.
Maybe 100 in the mids. Bryce Smith, good job trying to get that steal, and does. Tumbles, and he is fouled.
Good job there by Bryce, David. Definitely showing signs of greatness in the years to come.
It could be a good asset for the St. Mary's Rattlers. He'll be at the line. First free throw is good for Bryce. That is Bryce's first point of the game. Second free throw is good. Washington launches from 3 and gets that to go. That's a long shot there as we are approaching the 2-minute warning, 95, and that is the Rattlers' highest point total this season.
What a great job for the Rattlers, David, able to take advantages of their open shots, and they're able to make them too. That's great for them.
Darrell Taylor's jumper, no good. Here's Monroe, gets that to go.
Joe Monroe inching them ever closer to that 100-point mark.
Oh, difficult shot. Washington again. Counted and the foul. He'll go to the line. 91 seconds remaining.
You talk about a playground shot, David.
Yeah.
I think I would get a letter H on the horse game.
Yeah, that's another one right there. Foul going the other way We'll put Bryce Smith at the line once again. First, one free throw is good. Rattlers chanting 3 more points. That's 2 more points, I should say. Got about a minute to go here. Here's Wilson. Now Bryce looking down low. Here's Soto. Pump fake. Nice dish over to Daryl Taylor. That shot no good. Monroe with it. That athleticism. And that's 100. Free tacos if we had a deal with Taco Bell.
Free tacos if you were a Bulls fan.
Very true, very true. If you're a Phoenix Suns fan, satisfaction guaranteed. Did you hear about that promotion?
I did.
Why would you do that if you're a franchise? How?
Well, I mean, mind you, the steps to get your money back are intense, David. I think most fans are just gonna cut their losses there. And
not if you bought a seats that go over $100. I definitely would. What do you have to send in a mail-in, like a mail-in rebate?
You have to send a mail-in rebate, but you got to resend your original tickets, so you can't have lost your tickets or thrown them away.
Okay.
And then you need a few more proofs that you actually showed up to the game, and then if you receive free tickets, you know, you can apply for the refund. So a lot of people are trying to get smart that way, because I think they've been giving out a lot of tickets lately, and so
maybe papering that arena. Yeah. Oh man. Oh man, why would you do that? I mean, how do you quantify that? I mean, even if they won, you can still say I wasn't satisfied with how they won. Here's Soto. Might launch it from here. Over to Bryce. Wilson. Off the cuff. Monroe with a tip-in. Terrific shot there. 102. 40-point blowout for the St. Mary's Rattlers. Good defense there, and that will do it. Well, Rattler fans, it was a Rattler blowout wire-to-wire. 40-point win against Dallas Christian College. That'll do it for us here inside Bill Grigg Arena. For Robin Johnson, Raul Tovar, I'm David Tovar, wishing you, this I think is our last broadcast of the year. And our last broadcast for you and myself, Raul. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, season's greetings to you and yours from all of us here at St. Mary's Athletics. The final score, 102-62. The Rattlers blow it out in style. Bill Grigg Arena. Thanks for watching. You've been watching Rattler Athletics, Rattlers basketball live on Ustream.